Welcome, everybody, to episode 185 of Perpetual Backlog. I'm one of your hosts, Aqua, and joining me is the trying to not die, Dalit.
Death can have me when it earns me.
And our less dead Leak.
I'm less dead. Ha ha ha. I run around. Wee.
Thank you.
How's it going? How's it going? What were we up to? What were we up to this week?
Dying.
I'll go last. I'll go last this week.
I did loads of stuff.
You did?
Go ahead.
I watched Alien Romulus in the cinema.
Oh, was it good?
Now, I liked it, except the ending was I think they could have done a different ending. I know they wanted like a big bad fighty thing in the end. I think now I'm having yapped at people about it and been reminded about a certain thing. I understand why they didn't do the thing I actually wanted them to do, but yeah, I think the writing suffered at the end, but other than that, I fucking loved it.
Does it
I
suffer
actually
from the writing because they plan on doing a sequel to it?
I mean, I'll try and be as at least spoilery as I can. But basically, I watched Prometheus and Covenant before going to the cinema to watch this, so I reminded myself about certain story elements of those movies. Because there were complaints about certain things in Romulus that happened, like gestation period and stuff like that. But having watched the first, well, technically, chronologically, the first two, yeah, I'm reminded about certain things, so I wasn't bothered by it. The What I liked about it mostly was the setting. Now, it's not concentrating on space truckers, it's not concentrating on Marines, it's actually just the regular person who is a citizen of a mining colony. There's a bunch of them that basically want to escape that shithole. And they happen chance upon a possible what means of doing so and take advantage of that. And these are like younger cast members, and that makes sense. You know, you're taking risks when you're younger and stuff like that. You don't really think things through properly, and so I like that aspect of it. It made sense to me. I like the fact that they actually went with a colonists instead of basically company employees. I like that a lot. I freaking loved the character who played it's not a spoiler really, one of the synthetic people. I freaking loved that person.
Yeah, no, that's been
so good.
Fair.
Loved him. Loved that character. The alien stuff and the facehugger stuff are fucking cool, especially the facehugger stuff. They expanded on things like on how they work. It's great. There was a scene that was pretty tense in that to do with both of the xenomorphs and the facehuggers. Now, the ending. Hello, Andy. The ending. How I would have written it, I would have tried to attach it to Aliens, James Cameron movie.
Yes, because this is what I was thinking of when you were speaking.
I was hoping they would do that because they had an opportunity. Because, if you remember Covenant and Prometheus, there was a Dr. Shaw, right? In Covenant, they hinted at David doing fucky-wucky things with her.
They sure did.
They sure did. And I was hoping they'd somehow attach it to that. Thank you for the follow. I was hoping they'd attach it to that. And then by means of story stuff, they would attach it to James Cameron's Aliens. They didn't. And I learned because, for some fuck off reason, Ridley Scott hates the Queen alien. Why?
Probably because she was never in his plan. She comes from the AVP stuff, yeah?
No, it's James Cameron's concept.
Is it a Cameron concept?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. He did the concept art for it and everything.
Then I don't know. I've always just assumed, well, if it came from the AVP stuff, and I know he doesn't like the AVP stuff.
Yeah. Oh, that's fair
So
enough.
I don't know.
He didn't want
Doesn't
to. He
like-
didn't want to
maybe doesn't
join the
like
two.
Cameron.
Yeah, he didn't want to. He didn't want the two sci-fi plots to really be a thing together. He wanted to keep them separate. But yeah, no, he hates the Queen Alien, and
I
unfortunately,
actually
I
genuinely
think
didn't know that.
yeah, apparently he does, and missed opportunity because that would have been a great write-in, I think, instead of what we got in the movie. At least not a full-on Queen Alien, but some sort of like, you know, proto, a Queen Alien or something, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think that would have been great. But oh well. I mean, what we got as a standalone thing, I think was really creepy. It was
Good,
creepy.
cool.
It wasn't scary, it was creepy and gut churning because they were
Oh, I feel like that's the correct stuff.
there was a it alluded to it doing things that were creepy. So
Oh, I
yeah.
like that a lot less now.
Creepy. But yeah, that's a standalone thing. That particular ending was fine. But whatever. Although you know what, after watching Romulus, I want them to do a fucking third movie after Covenant because that ending was so open ended. I mean I like the fact that in Covenant the good guys lose. I like that a
Yes.
lot. I like that a lot. That's probably one of the only things I liked about Covenant. I like the neomorphs and I like the ending. That's the only thing I really
I
liked about it.
I suspect you won't get that because I believe a lot of people didn't like Covenant and aren't willing to
I
give it
know.
its praises for what it does well,
I know.
even
But
if it's not what we want.
I know. I like David though. He's a
He
good
was
bad
quite
guy.
good, yeah. He was
He was a
quite
good
good.
bad guy. And
Yeah.
he was an absolute shitter.
Oh,
What
he's a fucking monster, hey.
He's a monster. I love that. So yeah, I don't know. I wish there was a tie-in because there was something that was similar to those story threads anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to spoil it, but
No, fair.
I will say one thing though: stop doing shitty CG for people. Uncanny
Yeah,
Valley's a fuck. I hate it. You could have just done an animatronic or something. That would have been just as
yeah. I
good.
don't.
Probably
I get
better.
it.
I
I think
hate it.
I'm pretty sure CG is cheaper, but that's you're making a multi-billion-dollar or million-dollar film. Just
Yeah.
chill out. Get
Yeah.
people right. People is the one thing you have to get right.
You have to. It looks so weird if you don't get it right, and it doesn't. It's so off-putting. Not in a "ooh, that's so creepy." It's like, "Ugh, I want to puke."
Also, yeah, practical is cool.
Yeah, yeah. Practical is cool.
Points directly
But
at the thing.
yeah, but I will say Romulus is worth watching. I enjoyed it. If you can forgive things, but yes, good. I besides watching a movie, I did play games. I didn't just play World of Warcraft this time.
Hey,
I played other things this time. I went back
look at
to
him go.
I went back to Fields of Mystria because I love that not 90s anime Stardew Valley game.
Yeah.
I love that a lot. I played. Now we all have to play this at some point. We have to grab people from Matt's Discord too. Dale and Dawson's Stationery Supply Company, whatever it's called.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah. Do you know the TV series The Office? It's
Yeah.
basically that. It's
Oh.
basically that, but it's really
Oh
fucking
no.
funny. You are in an office just trying to get the company to work. There are it's kind of like similar gameplay to Among Us too, because there are people who are trying to sabotage a day's work or just slack off. They're called the slackers, right? And
Mhm.
there are folks who are trying to get all the tasks done and do good jobs. And there's also manager and assistant manager who are trying to work out who is who and get rid of the slackers. So
Okay.
there's actually good in-depth like not role play, get kind of if you want to do that, but it's in-depth like gameplay too. So you have to try to lie your way out of not getting fired, or try to get your task done and try to beat off the slackers that are.
Optimally lazy. I like it.
Yeah, I
It's like
like it a lot.
Werewolf, but with office workers.
Yeah, it's really good. I love this game
Interesting.
so much. I think it's such a good group game. I played this for hours and I was laughing my head off the whole time.
I'm sure I can
It's-
imagine actually.
yeah. I played this with my GTA roleplay mates, and we were role playing as the
Of
the
course.
individuals that work there. Of course. So we ended up doing shit that wasn't really in the gameplay cycle. Like I think at one point people actually started murdering each other in the office.
Mm.
They were just doing the
Amazing.
point motion. We're just going bang, you're dead. It was very silly. I think a couple of people got held hostage in an office because they didn't
Oh
want to do
no.
work anymore.
No.
Oh no! Wow, we've taken this to the
It
extreme.
was very silly, and I loved it.
Yeah,
People
sounds
were
like a good
you
time.
can send emails and stuff, so people were sending emails to each other. Some were threatening, some were just spam, some pretended to be basically, "You've won the lottery." Well done.
Oh my goodness.
There were sordid office romances that went awry. It was really good. It was such stupid fun. And for such a simple game, very good. Recommend it if you want to have a
You love to
party
hear
game
it.
to play. I also played Ale and Tail Tavern, which is kind of like 3D Tavern Keeper, and basically you have to do farming and crafting and stuff like that.
Right.
You just run a tavern with three other friends, and also do questing and fighting and stuff. It's good fun. That's good.
Yeah, I've seen.
Do you
I've
have to
seen.
clean up after like tavern
Yes,
brawls?
you have to clean up. You have to get a broom and tell the drunkards to fuck off.
Oh,
You
this is
get
much too real. Oh no.
yeah. You can upgrade the tavern and stuff like that too, so it makes tasks easier or more difficult depending on how fast or too fast you upgrade. You can get animals and veggies and stuff like that too. There's zombie attacks at night.
Oh no. We
Yeah.
closed an hour ago.
Yeah. It's very good.
Blues.
I enjoyed that a lot as well.
Beer.
But it is only
Beer.
for beer. Yeah, there's only 4 people who can play with that, and there's probably going to be a mod in the future, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I
to
watched Mouse
expand.
play all those games this week because she
Oh,
just
yeah.
went through like fucking everything.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
Mhm.
And what else did I do? I think that was it. Yeah,
That's a
mainly.
pretty good week though.
Yeah, it was a good week for me, game
Yeah,
wise.
I'd say so.
How about you, fellas?
My week was shit.
Oh,
I was dying.
oh,
At about Wednesday. No. Yes, Wednesday. I finally found the actual strength to play a game. I hadn't done anything before it. I guess I played some Sudoku, but that doesn't count. I finally found the strength to start Wukong. Black Myth Wukong.
yeah.
It's very good. It's very good. I've had weird thoughts on it, mostly because I've been very sick and my brain hasn't been working. I'm trying to figure out if I believe it's going to be Game of the Year or not.
Mm-hmm.
The competition really isn't that.
It's like
stiff
two.
for
It's
it.
like 2 games. It's 2 games this year.
Is it 2? Because I feel like the only
3.
thing. I feel like the only
3.
thing that's running against it, like meaningfully, is 7.
Pal World.
I don't think Power World is gonna make it, my guy. I think its only meaningful competition currently, that I've played anyway, is 7. And honestly, if this was remake, 7 probably takes it for me. But
Yeah.
Rebirth just had so much busy work that my feelings by the end of it were just nope, stop doing side content, get to the end, get to the end, get to the end, which is not a way I want to feel. Whereas Wukong's just been I want more of this the whole time.
Oh,
Nah,
okay.
I still feel that way. I feel that way about every JRPG though.
Well, for
I
T-
haven't I didn't feel that way about remake. I thought remake was brilliant. I played through that.
No,
I immediately did a hard mode playthrough when I
I think
finished.
remakes pacing was absolutely horrible.
Oh man, I didn't have that. I didn't have that issue.
Yeah, no, I almost feel that way about almost every JRPG I play because like
I mean,
all
I definitely
JRPGs are like
understand.
bloated with like side content most of the time, and then
I mean,
when you get to like the close to those final chapters, I'm like sitting here like, man, I know I really want to do this this side content, but also, man, I really want to see the end of the game because that's usually where the game picks up.
it's true, and to be fair, that is very true. Um, I don't know. I don't typically have that issue. Certainly, rebirth, rebirth, re. Was it
Rebirth,
rebirth? It was rebirth, right? Yeah.
yeah, Rebirth, yeah.
Rebirth was the first time where I just had to stop. I just couldn't. I didn't. I no longer wanted to do what the game had for me, and it's the first time in a very long time I felt like this game has too much needless bullshit in it. Which is a wild thing to say because 7 had a bunch of needless bullshit in it.
I still did everything outside of the Gilgamesh stuff though.
I did most things. There's plenty of card games I have to go back and complete. I have to do everything in the saucer. I don't have like the top score and everything yet.
mm.
I didn't do Gilgamesh because difficult
Well, I mean,
and
that
I
was
was burnt
you.
out.
You could only finish the Gilgamesh stuff in hard mode anyway.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I didn't want to turn around and go back through it. But anyways, back to where this began.
Mhm.
I have been very much enjoying my time in Wukong. Um, I didn't realize that my soulmate was a spider turned into a pill. I had no
No,
idea.
yeah.
It
Oh,
was a surprise to me. Uh, but the game looks okay. I don't like it's unfair to compare it to like the earliest trailers because we knew that wasn't gameplay, but you kind of have to because those were the trailers you showed off. It doesn't look that good. It looks like a PS5 video game, which admittedly looks
Mhm.
great. The gameplay, I've heard a lot of mixed things on this. I'm really confused. This is a very competent action game. It's not fast paced like Devil May Cry, but you do have a lot of options.
Yeah.
Um, I've super enjoyed it. I'm still trying to figure out if I feel like it's a good RPG. Uh, I think it might be in New Game Plus. I think it's kind of crap on the first playthrough. The first playthrough definitely feels like number go up.
Mm. Yeah, I love a number
Uh,
go up game though.
I mean, kind of, but there's a lot of stuff that I would have liked to have continued on, and I have the option to start beefing things up, but I lack the items, and I'm already what feels like 2/3 through the game.
mm-hmm.
So they're just gonna give me something nicer for every level, and then it's gonna be like, oh, all right. I mean, that's fine. The music has made no impact on me whatsoever. I
Okay.
couldn't tell you anything about it. It's not bad. I know that. I know for a fact it's not bad. I just
Nothing
couldn't
stood out.
tell you. Yeah, I couldn't tell you anything about it. I guess I feel about this the way a lot of people felt about 16,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
where they have to
only
admit
one
that the
piece stood
music.
out.
Yeah, where you have to admit that the music is technically very good. I just
Yeah.
you couldn't remember anything.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Only one piece stands out in 16, in my opinion.
I like 2 of them, but that's fair. Um, the character work has been brilliant. My This is where we get to my little quibble with the game, which is super unfair. So this is a Chinese game that is very clearly meant for an Eastern, if not outright Chinese audience.
Mm.
Trying to keep up with everything here is like doing homework. Like, I am so thankful every time Zubaiji is on screen. I was on screen because I'm like, I know you. I know your story. Cool. Good. I can keep pace for a little bit. Because this game does throw characters at you. I'm like, I don't know who you are.
Should have read Journey to the West.
It would have helped a little bit. There are certain characters, like anyone. There are times where like I understood that reference, but man, it's rough, and it feels more difficult to parse that than a game with no established like history. Because this is a real myth with so much established storytelling behind it, it is more dense than like a Dark Souls. But it is a lot of it. A lot of the tropes are there. You beat a character, there's a bestiary. I guess that's not quite Souls-like. You can learn more about the world through defeating the enemies, not so much through the items. So you can. There is fluff there. Anyhow, I've gone through. This is not Journey to the West. This is clearly a after story, or not a sequel story, which makes sense because Buddhism, the divine karma, reincarnation, all of that. It feels like it's going for that aspect, where things repeat themselves, different characters, same story or similar story.
Yeah.
It's been super enjoyable. I really like this game. I'm going to finish it soonish, I imagine, and it's literally the only game I played, so I don't feel bad about sitting on this topic for like 20 minutes.
All right.
Oh, that wasn't that long. God, man, outside of ingesting an ungodly amount of fairy tale this past week, it's like living in my brain right now. I played and finally beat Kuronoki Seki 2. So I'm all prepared for Kai at the end of the month.
Soon.
Yeah, even I beat the story. I went through the last 7 floors of the garden, got the extra cutscene that connects it to the next game. I already know who the Silver Grendel is in the next game. And it's
so you do know now. It's not just a good
well,
guess anymore.
It's I'm like 100,000% sure that it is LaToya Hamilton and not Anya's. Only because of that final scene in Kuro 2. Because she seemed to really sus at the end of that game. And it, like, her hair just kind of matches the same hair as the Silver Grendel. So I mean, I'm just like connecting those dots together. That's what I'm assuming it's gonna be. My final thoughts on Kuro 2 is, man, this game is good, but Act 3 fucking kills this game.
Oh no.
Act 3 fucking sucks.
No.
It is
You hate to hear it. You really want them to stick that landing.
No. The finale was amazing. All right. Act 3, all right, comes right before the finale, all right? It is the longest section of the entire game. It is the most boring section of the entire game. And it is literally just a Doctor Who section. All right?
Huh.
Because it is just, you run into a character. This character is somehow fucking has some type of corrosion or erosion with their brain. They are remembering things that didn't happen. And they kill you a couple of times. And you rewind back in time and figure out what's the issue. And you do that like 6 times. All
Wait,
right.
this feels like horror-y. I don't like this all of a sudden.
No, because Haruhi was at least funny. All right.
I mean, I don't think people found Endless 8 funny when it was live. That's all I'm saying.
No, because like Endless 8 was like I can get through Endless 8 because I just have the brain that can get through that or whatever. I don't expect any like this. You could get through like Act 3 of Kuro. Like it's different. Like you're not repeating the same thing over and over and over and over and over again.
Okay.
Just in each section, because Act 3 is split up into 6 different routes. All right. Each section is a different issue. And so that the first route you run into Ashen, she's got some issue with Vaughn and Aaron or whatever. She kills you twice, and you end up getting some help to defeat that section or whatever. Then the next section, there's something wrong with Maxim the racer, and he's like trying to do something. You end up like you don't end up dying that route, but Maxim and somebody else ends up dying in that route a couple of times, and you keep resetting to figure out that. In the third route, which is probably the second best route of this entire section, Celis thinks that you cursed her master, and he dies. Apparently, this is like all in her brain or whatever, and so she goes after you a lot. All right, and she's one of the scariest motherfuckers in this game. And if she's angry and going after you or whatever, Vaughn's like, oh shit. All right. But you get Rion on your side, and then you have to figure out that issue or whatever. Then it goes. It leads up to the 5th route, which the 4th route is the one I actually have the most issue with, because it's Reset, Kasim, and Fairy that are eroded or whatever, and that part of the route's like one of the longest parts, and it's actually the hardest part of the of Act 3 because Reset and Kasim are broken when they go up against you, because 2 of Reset's moves have Death Blow, and Kasim just does a dickload of damage. So when you have to fight them together, it's just annoying as shit. That was where I quit the first time I was playing Kuro 2. I was just like I'm done. The route after that is a really cool route, actually, or route, or however the fuck you say it. Where a coup d'etat happens in the capital.
As one just does.
And it's led by Zin and Kilika.
Not
all right?
saying Kilika.
Well, yeah. all right. I'm saying these like somebody knows, like either you guys know. I know Dalit knows who Zin is, at least. I'm unsure if you know who Kilika is.
I know Zin. I know the big boy.
Yeah.
I don't know Kilika by name.
She's Angie's master.
No, that doesn't.
Well, no, it doesn't help because you've never met her or whatever. But she taught Angelica how to fight.
That Angie. Okay.
Yeah. She taught Angelica. She was a guild receptionist in the Sky Games.
Okay.
All
right. But she's now the head of the CID in Calvard.
Damn, that's a glow up.
Yeah. Anyway, there's a big coup. It's against the president, all right, and it's insane. It is an extremely long section, or whatever, that you do not get a save point until you fight the boss. Because it is fight, cutscene, a couple more fights, cutscene. So you're like going through you're going through the capital city of Edith, like fighting all of these like boss battles or whatever, all the way to the end or whatever. It's like a 2-hour segment, but it's like really cool. It's a really cool set piece. It's only not cool if you're trying to get off of the game to go do something else, because you can't save. But that's really cool. And the one the route after it is like not even really a route. It's just a dungeon, and you fight the second baddie of the game. And that story is, I feel like, kind of just thrown in. But the finale is really good, really cool. It sets up who the final boss is. And you figure it out who it is. Who the red Grendel Zolga is.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. It's also kind of sad. And then you get into that boss fight against Grendel Zolga. Actually, super cool. Dolly, you know how there's an action and a turn-based section, like parts of the game,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Against the first phase of Grendel Zolga, all right. He's in a giant form, all right. In the middle of that fight, he destroys the shards, and you go into action.
Oh.
Yeah. He destroys. He destroys. So you're in the turn base or whatever, and he just does an attack that destroys the cards, kicks you all back out into action fighting, and you go and fight him that way. And then you have to stun him to go back into the turn base, which I think you actually might be able to do enough damage to force him back into turn base, like on his own. I would actually like to go back and try to see if I can kill him just in action, or like kill that first phase just in action, without actually going in there.
Be kind of cool though.
But I didn't realize it at first, and my lane died because I was like, "What the fuck's going on here?" And I was like, "Oh my god, I'm in action! What the hell?" So yeah, that was really cool. And then I beat the game, and then that did the last 6 floors or whatever. But yeah, I would say this game would be better than Kuro 1 if it wasn't for that third act. Because not only is that third act super fucking long and boring and like just gets really old really quickly, it follows the best part of the game, which is the intermission. All right, where you go to DG Cult Island.
Wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's just a really weird thing to hear. Is the best part of the game is intermission as not an insult.
Oh no, yeah. No, well, the intermission is like, it's saying it's an intermission because like, oh, everybody's invited to this island for a vacation resort type thing. Yeah.
It's the beach episode.
Yeah, but Harwood's actually plotting up this like fucking gigantic thing where he's like trying to summon the fucking devil, this demon or whatever, and all that shit. So like it turns into like a whole thing or whatever. But there's like a scene where Harwood kills everybody on the fucking island.
I forget that he's like not just a bad guy, but like a legitimate bad guy.
Yeah. He's just like, you don't want to get close to me. Somebody tries to like charge at him, and they instantly drop. And he's like, I told you shouldn't have done that or whatever. And then poison just like this like curse poison just fills the entire island or whatever, and just everybody just drops dead. It's insane. It's really cool. You get a bunch of side like quests with like you get a bunch of character events. There's that one character event where Shizuna and Elaine do like a motorcycle race and all that stuff. It's the coolest part of the game, and then you go to Act 3 and it just ruins it.
Oh no.
Right. The gameplay of Kuro 2 and 10 times better than Kuro 1. I enjoy going in the Marching Garden because it's a place where I can just grind and get like materials and stuff like that. it's like mindless. I can go do that. And the story of Kuro 2 is pretty good. It's just outside of it. Just Act 3, just like it puts all motivate. Like it literally kind of kills motivation to get through the game. And the OST is like 5 times better than Kuro 1. But if I had to like strictly just like say which one's the better game, it's easier to get through Kuro 1 just because the story in Kuro 1's so good. But yeah, that was great. I'm ready for Kai, which is going to be even more peak. So
Yep, sure is.
outside of that, I played a little bit of Gundam Breaker 4. That is a game where I'm mashing buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So
You made any cool mechs in it?
I put one. I've only made the one mech, and it's in the chat.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Ah.
Yeah. It kind of looks like Beautiful Joe for some reason.
Yeah, it does a bit actually. I think it's the head
Yeah.
thing.
And the color scheme, the red and gold.
Henshin a go-go, baby.
Yeah.
But I was just messing around with colors, and I was just like, all right, I can deal with this. And then I did a bunch of weathering on it, which is cool. So, the story of Gundam Breaker is literally it's we're a bunch of kids playing kids/adults playing a game about Gunpla. So
yeah. There's a whole series around it. So I mean, I respect it. Every Gundam can't be a space opera, I guess. You need your G Gundams and your Gundam Breakers.
But yeah, I'm only in chapter 3 of that. I'm literally just equipping the highest level of stuff that I have. So I'm not really not really looking into building at the moment. So but that's me. I could talk like 12 hours on Fairy Tail, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So
say thank you, chat. He's had mercy on us.
Yes.
But I did. This isn't Fairy Tail related.
Okay.
I was told by Little. All right. Sly put Cold Steel 4 on his schedule.
Hey, it's happening.
He and he asked him. He was like, I think there's a mistake on his schedule. He goes, nope, not a mistake. Nothing's coming out this week, and I need to get this off my fucking list. So yeah, he'll be able to play that. That'll be great. Yeah, that's all me this week.
Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
Little did put in an email this week, like he did last week,
God.
but I didn't say anything.
That's hilarious.
I mean, he said Rip Concord, so I mean that's all he said. So
which is correct.
We'll
get to that.
We'll get that. But this is what we'll also get to because it's about it's about current topic. Few things. PS5 Pro first, yay! $700, not a shock. Wish it was cheaper, but with that price, you sure as fuck could include a goddamn vertical stand, and you could make a disc version.
You'd certainly think so.
Yeah. So PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah.
Man, the fuck is wrong with you, Sony?
Tell us about it. Actually, no, wait. First of all, I'd like you to reiterate why you dislike the Xbox. Is it Series S? I think it was the S one without the thing.
No, the Series S is just a weaker overall system.
Yeah.
It doesn't have it's not an Xbox Series X, but without a disk drive. It is just a weaker system.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah. But no disk drive.
But with no disk drive, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, it doesn't have a disk drive. No
that
Series,
S. The Series S doesn't have.
That's why I brought it up.
All right, just checking because I wasn't sure. I guess that is how they did shave $200 off it. So
yes.
I mean, look.
They made it cheaper because
It's a
It has no
shitty
disc drive.
system, but it's also $200 cheaper. So
Yes. Now, PS5 Pro. Tell us what it's got.
A whole lot of nothing. No, PS5 Pro. Well, for one, it's $700 for a increase in what apparently seems to just be visuals and ray tracing. Because everybody loved ray tracing. That's what they want.
yeah. If you are interested in the specs as I understand it, are thus: they haven't upgraded the CPU, so it's still a Zen 2 8-core AMD card or chipset. The GPU is now bigger. It's the Radeon 3, the RDNA 3, which it genuinely is a massive step forward, and they were clearly very impressed by themselves because they went on about it at length. It's a physically well, yeah, it's a physically bigger card, a GPU in terms of GPU that is capable of outputting higher quality resolution and just being able to take on a harder workload, a larger workload rather. We'll get to why that doesn't matter in a bit. I think it has the same memory, probably running at a higher clock speed. And I think the PS5 Pro will ship with 2 terabytes of storage, which, hey, straight up bonus. Good for you. So, like, just as far as the paper goes, those are the big things. More storage, same CPU, which is not great. Much more impressive GPU, fair enough, and the same memory because, admittedly, memory wasn't an issue.
Yeah. I feel like the graphics card wasn't the issue in the PlayStation.
It's because it wasn't. Like, what game is pushing it this hard? Well, that's not true. There are games that push the systems hard.
Dragon's
but,
Dogma would have been pushing it.
I still think, and I'm pretty sure about this. That's a CPU issue, which because there's not been an upgrade to the CPU is a big part of my complaints about.
Yeah, there's nothing out there that's pushing the graphics in a PlayStation 5 at all. I don't think.
To be fair, because I am going to tear into this, but I will say that in their demonstrations, you are getting more out of your graphics. They're able to upscale. Now, mind you, this is still upscale to 4K, and the quality setting. No, sorry, not the quality setting. The fidelity settings do look better than they did before, but like marginally.
Yeah.
And yeah, of course, also ray tracing. But yeah, that's really about it. I think we'll agree on this one. I don't think the graphical upgrade to the games is where the strength of the system's going to lie, even if it is an upgrade. It was just not meaningful enough.
Yeah, like we didn't want enhanced image quality or enhanced resolution. We wanted to be able to play games at a higher frame rate.
Which, again, you're letting me be very kind.
Yeah.
They get to. You can play in quote-unquote 4K at 60 frames per second. You can now play in 60 frames per second on what was fidelity mode on the PS5.
Okay.
That's it. That's the only nice thing I have to say about that. Because, frankly, like, this goes to what we were talking about. Before this came out, I think it was sometime at the end of last week, or maybe the very beginning of this week, we talked about this. I figured that this would be a way for them to get us to be able to play at 4K 60, and you correctly guessed it was going to be $700. And now, neither of us is happy.
Yeah. because I did not want it to be $700.
It's ridiculous. It's not $700. Oh, never mind. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. We'll come back to that.
I just don't think it's worth $200 extra.
I agree.
It's just like, they're not even including a stand. All right, which 100% want a stand for this. Fuck, I use a stand on my PlayStation 5.
I don't put this thing in horizontal. Not because it's dangerous or anything. It's just this.
No,
this console just lends itself. Well, not even that. The console's form factor does not lend itself to a horizontal seating.
Yeah, it has.
I know.
Curve, doesn't it?
Yeah, but no, I mean,
Seto Kaiba jacket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's built to be vertical, and I don't feel comfortable laying it on its side like I have with literally every other PlayStation.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't feel comfortable putting this on vertically without the stand either.
No. I agree. I absolutely agree.
But it's just, I just don't understand why they couldn't put the stand with it. All right, I guess $700, like, you, it doesn't even have a disk drive.
Yeah, you could say you don't understand.
All right, that's Perpetual Backlog. That's Perpetual Backlog for the week, guys.
Edit out.
It's how is it $200 extra? How is the PlayStation 5 not going down in price?
I don't know.
So that I understand. I don't understand why it's going up, but I do understand why it's not going down. Excuse me as I die, as Sony tries to put out a hit on me for speaking the truth.
Do you think because of the really good, is it the GPU, that they, to save money, they took out the disk drive?
No. I think they just understand that they can sell a console without a disk drive now, and that saves a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Oh man,
like that is a purely manufacturing choice.
I know, but it's like further pushing us into like must depend on digital library, and we don't technically own things now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
Please let me rag on this. I don't like defending them right now. Technically, that's not true.
Okay.
But technically, you'll have to spend $100 to fix it.
Okay.
It will have a disk drive sold separately for about $100, if I read correctly.
Oh, so it's an $800 console.
Like I said, this is not a $700 console. Matter of fact, I'm just going to go on my diatribe.
Yeah, just go, Dal. We're not.
They're doing an Apple.
You're not wrong. We are getting there. It's just what it's getting to. So as far as the PS5 Pro goes, right? Like, I don't know how they thought this was going to go over well to begin with, right? Like, all my positivity on it thus far is all the positivity you're going to get. Like, launching this right now at the price that they've chosen seems like a surefire way to garner these poor responses and not even break even on this for years. Like, apparently they don't remember the PS3, how $600 was too much for that. Now you're offering a mid-generation upgrade for $700. Insanity. So, like, this is priced at $700 for the entry-level stuff, which is absolutely not what you're going to pay. Well, you might, like, as a normal human being with a, amount of money that you can only spend so much of, you might pay $700. I would.
Yeah, if you didn't already have a PS5.
Yeah. So, but let's also take into account that it's $700 plus the vertical mount, which will be probably about $40 if I had to guess. A disk drive that's sold separately for about $100, and tax, which may not seem like a lot for Americans, but let's point out everywhere else this is going to be sold. This is going to be $1,000.
Yeah.
Anywhere else in the world. This is insanity. And all for a negligible graphical boost. And sorry, again, Sony's trying to put out a hit at me. A negligible graphical boost and a meaningful but not $400 to $600 performance boost that likely won't be as solid as they say. Like, the idea that this 4K 60 on everything it's good. Like it's like this was the most obvious part about all of this. Like this is clearly what this thing is designed to do. But there are caveats on this idea. The 4K itself isn't real 4K. I think the Xbox Series X does output true 4K, so that's
Yeah.
interesting. And the 60 frames isn't guaranteed here. Now, they didn't say that it wasn't guaranteed, but they wouldn't. But realistically, we're using the same CPU as the base PS5, the old Zen 2 chips. So, unless they chose to waste all their time talking about the GPU and just not mention anything about the CPU, this is the new bottleneck.
Yep.
So, like, I don't see things like Dragon's Dogma being better. Furthermore, 4K 60 hasn't really been limited by the specs of the console in recent years. Is your game optimized well enough?
Mm.
Because sure, the PS5 Pro can probably do 4K 60. Hell, I think the PS5 could probably do 4K 60 on a reasonably sized game that was properly optimized and not these gigantic, monstrously bloated games with code that's being held together by blood, sweat, tears, and prayers. So the premise of like the biggest premise of this console is not something that Sony has meaningful control over. And personally, I think they damned themselves with the side by side stuff. Because frankly, like I said before, I don't know about this graphical boost nonsense. The performance mode versus the fidelity mode didn't see a meaningful difference to me graphically. I'm sure snobs will say that I'm wrong. But I mean, it's going to depend on like your monitor, your TV, how close you're sitting, if you even notice these things to begin with. I mean, there is probably a difference, but a normal consumer is never going to notice it. And fidelity versus fidelity was a fucked up comparison because yes, the PS5 runs at 60. Why are you comparing it to running at a 30 frame PS? What? That's not fair. Shut up. This is the whole purpose of your console. We knew that this was going to run at 60. Anyways, this wasn't the move. The idea of introducing an upscale resolution sitting at a higher frame rate is good, but no price point above the standard cost of a PS5 was ever going to go well. Like genuinely, I don't even think. I think maybe like $599 is as high as you can go.
Yeah. This
Uh,
is
like this isn't it. It's gonna make the Switch 2 look real good when it launches, though.
yeah. Yeah, it's gonna make the Switch 2. Dude, imagine the Switch 2 is like $350.
Yeah, they're not going to sell it for like an incredible amount of money. Nintendo understands the loss leader mentality, and that's going to be a system with. It's going to be. Don't get me wrong. It's going to be a garbage system because the Switch 2 is already out of date. It hasn't even launched yet, but it's going to have a killer library because Nintendo is Nintendo.
And it's finally gonna be 1080 60.
True. Honestly, at the end of the day, get a Steam Deck. You only have to pay $500. You can take your whole PC catalog with you wherever you want to go.
But you can play Switch games on Steam Deck though.
I
mean, okay. Without having to go through a process.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely true.
Because it is a process to put that stuff onto the Steam Deck.
Yeah, no, like, look, end of the day, you've said it, Leak said it, I'm gonna say it. $700 is a death sentence for this, and it comes at a time where Sony needed a win, and it was sitting pretty high, despite Concord, which we'll get to, being a flop because Astrobot was doing well, and this is a game that is going to carry a system. Like this is, I mean, I know people said this about Little Big Planet. I never really cared about Little Big Planet. Astrobot feels like Sony Mario.
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, it was the
So-
last thing that Sony
Yeah.
Japan Studios was able to like help out.
Mm.
I
Well,
mean,
a lot
like,
of people are
so-
enjoying it too.
yeah,
Like, it's really fun.
but Japan Studios is just Team Asobi, so like a lot
Yeah.
of people are talking about it as if like Japan Studios is dead and gone, and we're never going to get another good thing from them. And I certainly think that the series that was attached to them may not see a new release for a little bit, but because it's the same people, Well, yeah, it's the same people plus a few more. I think we'll be fine. I'm not worried about that. And yeah, as Leek said, the game looks absolutely darling. I'm super excited about it. I'm going to pick it up at the holidays, nebulously holidays.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll definitely pick up. I loved Astro's Playroom so much.
It was so good. I don't know why I'm surprised that Astrobot is good. Playroom was amazing, and they gave that game away.
Yeah, that was the best free game you could ever get ever, in my opinion.
Also, lower the price of the PS5 and its stuff by lowering all the nonsense your controller can do. It's a great controller, super solid, but the only game making proper use of it is, in fact, Astro.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
I
True.
was wondering if any of the games have been using this haptic feedback controller properly.
Haptic feedback not as much. The adaptive
Hmm.
triggers, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the various studios will use the controller in small aspects. Maybe there will be a little bit of haptic during tense sections. I think Aqua's nailed it with like the most use you're seeing is everyone making use of those adaptive triggers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, most games know not to use the inbuilt sound because people, by and large, don't want their controller talking at them.
Yeah.
True.
And I think we learned way back in the PS3, though maybe it was the PS4, we don't do gyroscopic gameplay. Please stop that.
Okay.
So the only game that would make use of the controller to its fullest is a game that's literally based around the controller,
Hmm.
Yeah.
Which is Astro.
which is Astro, which has it did a bloody brilliant demonstration
Hmm.
at launch, and I can't imagine it's anything less than brilliant here.
Yeah.
I've seen so many people platinum that game already. So
Also, yeah, base Team Asobi, understanding that every game doesn't need to be an all-you-can-eat experience. Sometimes we just want a two-course meal.
yep.
Just a nice meal and a dessert. Thanks.
Hmm.
Like I saw some people, the PS5 Pro is Jim Ryan's last joke. Because
Yeah.
I think he was head of the PS5 Pro thing before he left.
Oh, he would have
Um,
been right, yeah.
yeah. And I think that last week you were like, man, somebody's gonna find Jim Ryan dead in a ditch somewhere, or
I'm
just
telling
gone
you.
missing. Sony
Wow.
Ninja's gonna go after him because I can't expect like I understand the PlayStation 5 is outselling the Xbox Series X and S by like 5 times. All right.
Yeah.
Uh, this will not.
I am
I cannot foresee any like sane people spending at minimum $700 for this thing.
but you know a bunch of people are going to. So that's the bit that interests me the most.
Yeah.
I am very interested to see how this does sales wise. Because for everyone online who says they wouldn't touch this with a 10-foot pole, there are A, liars among us, and B, there are people who don't know any better. Who are like, yeah, fuck it, I got that kind of money, I got that kind of disposable income. I'll buy this really nice thing in Flex.
I could see if GameStop was like uh having a really good like buyback percentage
You'd have to
for
be getting a
PlayStation 5s.
buyback of like $300 to justify
Yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's like if you could get like $300 out of your PlayStation 5 for trading it in towards a Pro, then I could maybe be
Yeah,
like,
I could maybe see people like just a normal person going, yeah, I'll pay 400. I did when it first came out.
well, 500 because if you're not buying the disc drive, then
True.
you're
No,
kind of
you're
an
right.
idiot.
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
because if you have a PS5, you probably have physical PS5
You
games.
probably got a couple of games, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't play your physical games if you don't have the disc drive. So I woke up and I saw all this today, and I was like I know I said $700 the other day, but I didn't want it to be actually $700. I
The
was like,
PS5 Pro will cost $1,200 Australian.
yep. And probably around the same in Japan, since Japan's PlayStation 5 period was just went up in price.
The
So
disc drive will cost $160
Yep.
sold separately.
yeah. I'm sorry, Australia. I'm so sorry.
So you say Australia, right?
Aw.
Because Australia is going to get dicked over by this. Mexico is going to get dicked over by this. Do you know
Canada
what's
is also
really
gonna get
sad?
dicked over by
Canada
it.
is going to
Canada,
get
yeah.
Canada,
dicked
yeah,
over by
I was
this.
gonna say Canada too. Oh no.
I think the only two regions that don't get absolutely screwed on price are EU and NA, and like USA,
US,
USA.
yeah.
Yeah, that's gross.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
I mean, that's gross.
Insane gross. Yes. I don't ever want to hear that a system is $1,200. So
I thought we
dumb.
learned this lesson. Like, I know, I make the joke, PC Master Race, blah blah blah. Just get a PC. Just
But
get a PC.
at that price, you just get a PC.
Like, I think if I were to get a granted one way flight to Tokyo, I spend less than I would on a PS5 Pro. I could go
That's
visit.
crazy.
Yeah, I feel like I could go visit our mate
You
for
could
that
go on
money.
holiday.
Well,
Like, granted, I'd have to
at-
come back, and that would double the price. But
No.
one
You
way.
could
no, I'm saying this because I just looked it up.
Okay.
There's a nonstop for under $600.
Okay.
That's crazy.
It's nuts. Yeah. So hey, Lee, missing your face. You want to get lunch? This would be well more interesting than a
Oh,
PS5 Pro.
That's so funny. You could go fucking holiday.
Like,
Yeah,
granted,
well,
granted,
one way,
this
one way. You'd have to
yeah,
come back,
again.
yeah.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
this is one way, and it's probably not. The
It's fine.
best-
It's easy.
probably
Just
not the
get
best
yourself
seat on that
deported for
flight.
free.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just,
Ooh.
I'm an American. They're probably
Easy.
already prepared to do it.
just Johnny Somali your way out.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'd rather not get arrested in Japan, man. But yeah, obviously a joke, but like this is where
Yeah.
we are price wise, and it's not unfair that consoles are getting more expensive. They are able to do more things, and we absolutely lampooned Microsoft when they did this with the previous generation of Xbox. But it is a multimedia center. I do in fact watch stuff on my PS5 a lot. I go to sleep every night watching movies. So like, yeah, like, I wouldn't say the box isn't worth it, and they're definitely selling this at a loss. But I think you have to suck salt and sell it at a bigger loss.
Yeah.
Or, and hear me out about this, don't do a fucking mid-generation update for no fucking reason. Because,
True.
until you hit me with like multiple developers telling me that your console was hamstringing their capacity to get good games out, I don't buy the reasoning. And obviously one of the things, because you said you didn't watch the video, one of the things Mark Sony outright says was, we heard a lot of game creators, I believe he said game creators, which means devs,
Yes.
saying that they wanted to put this focus on performance and graphical fidelity. I'm like, I don't believe you. I don't believe one fucking developer has said that this is their primary gripe. Because I genuinely don't think most games are pushing this console, the PS5, to its limits.
Oh, by the way, just an update on that ticket to Tokyo. All right.
Yeah.
I found a round trip that's only $800.
Yeah,
Oh my
I won't lie. I'm looking at a one way that's under 300. So
Jesus, Sonny.
I've never seen a price. I imagine if I were to fly on this, I'd be flying in the luggage.
Yeah. Mine was like basic fucking.
You could probably
like
get a
basic
one-stop
ticket,
for
yeah.
much cheaper as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I
And
could
they're
just
not,
No.
and they're not that bad.
That was a one stop actually. The round
Okay,
trip,
okay.
Air Canada one stop.
Yeah.
no, I'll just I'll go to Turkey. I'll go and spend a couple nights in a capsule. It'll be grand.
Yeah. That's super
No,
cheap.
Manga
I nearly
Cafe.
said hella cheap. Oh god.
You
That's super
Oh
cheap.
no!
No.
The Californians.
No.
We've infected her.
no, you could just
Them.
sleep in a Manga Cafe. They have showers.
Yeah.
Oh god, do they?
Those options are very
Yep.
cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, capsule
Look,
hotels are
I'm not.
super cheap,
Wait,
and they
wait,
do
I'm
have
not
showers as
saying.
well.
Oh well, then yeah, there you go. Like I am
Pro
available
travelers
to
tips:
be.
if you go by yourself, don't fucking book a hotel. Just stay in a capsule.
Yeah.
That sounds the way to go about it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, these were my thoughts. These were like, I guess our thoughts on the PS5 Pro. It's kind of a mess. It's I don't know why Sony felt the need to do this. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Mark Sony's not a liar. Maybe the devs are saying like, look, we love it, but we really want our fans to be able to play in 60 frames per second and not have to give up the least amount of graphical fidelity. I don't know. Maybe I misunderstand this. This feels cynical. And honestly, after their last loss, they didn't need this. Even just from a PR standpoint, they didn't need this.
Yeah, no.
I'll be interested in actually, tell you what. Tomorrow I'd like to know how that stock ended up for the day. Because that'll be the real teller of like just how devastating this actually is. Which I don't know about devastating. Sony can weather this. It's just this is stupid. This is dumb.
Yeah, no, it's just stupid. Yeah, I don't understand why they get like a super huge lead and then decide, let's be absolute dickheads.
Every time Sony does very well and gets like the love and adoration of the general public, they then turn around and go, hey, but wait, what if? And just squander it.
No idea. It's insane. You know what else is insane?
What? Tell us.
How long Concord lasted.
Yeah.
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 2 weeks.
Fuck.
2 weeks. 11 days.
2 weeks.
Did he even make it to the end of the week?
Well, no. It came out the 23rd, and it died the 6th. So that's like specifically, that's actually like 2 weeks.
Is it because no one played it or what? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yes.
Yes.
You've nailed it.
Yes.
Oh god.
Like I've had conversations with Aqua, with you to be fair,
Yeah.
like, and with a bunch of other people. I've tried to make sense of this. I've tried to like do their job and like justify why this happened, but the biggest blowback is just no one was playing it. They had an open beta and there were like 600 people playing it.
Oh god.
That's the Steam chart right there. I don't know why there are 6 people playing right now.
Yeah, and for everyone that says, "Well, this is a Sony game," it's not doing any better there.
Yeah, no,
it didn't during its betas at that place at all. And they were giving out codes to people who were allowed to bring in like 6 other people at a time.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally giving away an open access to this game. Obviously not the game itself. The game itself sold for $40. But yeah, no, goodness gracious, people were just against this game.
Yep.
All-time peak 697 18 days ago. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yep.
And frankly,
and that was during the beta. That was during the beta,
yeah,
by the way.
that was not release.
That's what didn't make you want to play. It made you want to avoid it. Oh no, Andy.
So
Ah!
yeah, I'm a little interested. So I was never like anti this game. I'm one of the people who fall firmly into. I was just never for this game. This was a game I was always just gonna skip, but I didn't
Yeah.
have any like feelings against it. Matter of fact, never really thought about it at all,
Mm-hmm.
which seems to have been seems to have been the problem.
From what
I
I've heard from people that have played the game plays well. All right,
which makes
that
sense. A bunch of
the
X first person
foundation,
shooter.
yeah, the foundation of the game was decent. All right, everything else in the game sucked
Yeah,
or is not
I just
interesting.
I don't know, man. They did they did like no marketing for this game before um opening night live, I think.
Yeah,
And then everyone saw it and was like, it's okay. And then by the time they actually started seeing the other designs, I don't know. I don't know.
It was so generic, was it?
No.
No.
I genuinely think a lot of these designs are just
they're bad.
not very
Just bad. Yeah.
good. Like
Oh.
for once, like I'm all for artistic like fucking just feeling and such, but these are pretty not great. Um I can I say generic? I don't I
No,
mean
they're less than
I would
generic.
I don't well yeah, I don't think generic works cuz generic is how you get Call of Duty where everyone's just Soldier Man. These were they were just bad ideas. They were just
Yeah,
bad ideas.
no character in the game looked interesting at all.
Well, hold on now. There were a couple
No,
in like retrospect that I was like, no, I would mess with that. But I'm talking about like literally a couple. There's like two, which is not great. Like
yeah.
I genuinely don't know how to parse this game. And I certainly don't know what comes next. Everyone says this game is just dead, which it could be. We've seen games die weirder fates than this. What was the game that I think it was Atlas was doing? Hyenas or some such?
Mm-hmm.
No, that was
Uh,
Sega. Sega was doing Hyenas.
Sega.
Yeah,
Sega
yeah,
was doing Hyenas. That game died like 2 weeks before launch or some such.
yeah.
Like that was a completed game that was absolutely finished that just they canned. So by that logic, yeah, I mean this could just become nothing. I still it feels weird to buy a studio and then have their first release come out successfully, backed by the company, and then take it down and then not do anything. I still feel like they're gonna free to play this in like a month or something. Like they're gonna make some really jank, not fixes but adjustments to make this monetizable, and it's not gonna work. But I
I
think they're gonna
I
try it.
I don't think they. I don't think they try to fix it at all. I think they. I think they axe. But I think they. I think they axe everybody in Firewall up. I think they suck up the studio. And I think they just do not try to even think about it.
Well,
This
do they axe them or do they suck them up? Because
no no
they're
no no
first party.
no. I mean suck up the IP. Axe the people. Suck up the IP.
Oh, well, it's their IP. They own it.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But like, um, well, I think they just I think they just delete it from their brain.
Yeah, this is. I mean, like, I think that's a gigantic waste of money. But again, hyenas is a thing that happened, so fair enough. And yeah, as Andy said, like, I think this really just does come down to a lot of distasteful stuff, and I don't mean like malicious distasteful, but people just didn't enjoy what they saw. I saw the gameplay, which was frankly, I when I finally gave it a shot, but when I finally gave it a look, I was like, oh, this is Destiny Crucible. I'm one of the 6 people that enjoyed Destiny Crucible.
Yeah. Well,
6.
it is. By the way, I got confirmation from my Canadian friend.
Yeah.
PS5 Pro is $959.99 in Canada.
Oh god. and
That's
it's-
gross. That's $1,000 after tax.
Yeah. So, but like, I mean, this just reminds me of that game called Crucible that Amazon was working on that released and that got reversed back into beta and that just died.
Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get. Yeah.
That was like 4 years ago.
I completely forgot that existed, right?
Yeah. I think this is just going to be pretty much the same thing. It released, got reversed back into like development, and then it's just going to die.
I don't know, man. It's weird. Like I just can't help but think that this game failed on an art standpoint, and that's so bizarre to me. I'm not used to games failing from an art Gollum existed longer than this game. You want to talk about a game
did
with
better
awful
than this
aesthetic?
game.
Gollum. Oh
Like,
god.
what are we doing here? I
Oh,
I don't
Gollum
know
did
what
better.
happened.
oh god.
Please stop saying that. It's true, but I don't like it. I don't know.
Oh, actually,
I don't know.
never mind. I lied. Gollum only had 502 players at peak.
Okay. Well, to be fair, Gollum's at very least a single player game.
Yeah, true. And
But,
you can still play. You can still play Gollum.
You can still play it. I wouldn't, but you could. Yeah, no, did it die because of aesthetics? Did it die because of the pronouns? Did it die because it was a mediocre shooter in a saturated genre? That certainly couldn't be, because that's never stopped anyone. Did it really die because it was $40? Because I'm going to be honest with you, I could do with a few more games having a bar to entry of $40. I think that would make a lot of games less fucking toxic.
So here's my question. All right, Sony bought up Firewalk because they saw that they were working on
This
Concord.
game.
Yeah,
Yes,
this
correct.
game. I don't know why after the initial view of this game or whatever, because when this initially was announced at like a Game Awards or whatever, nobody thought that this was good. All right.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know why they didn't just try. Sony could have done the one thing that actually would have probably sold this game. All right. They have a plethora of fucking characters. Why didn't they just make an Overwatch shooter with
Correct.
Sony characters?
With Sony IPs,
Yeah.
So we have finally gotten back to the Capcom All Stars conversation, where why doesn't Capcom just make a fighting game with all of its best fighting game characters? So no, correct. Like, why doesn't Sony just make a kart racer with all of its characters? Why doesn't Sony make a fighting game with all of its characters? Well, it did, and it wasn't very good, so I guess there's that. Why doesn't Sony make a shooter with all of its characters? Brilliant question, because Firewalk could have made that game.
Yeah, they could have.
Whilst I don't like the aesthetics of this game, the visuals of this game were fine.
And the gameplay of this game was just fine. Was
You could work it. You could absolutely work. Maybe people would have bitched and moaned about it at launch, but like they do about every shooter, you can fix that with a couple of patches, with some feedback, with patches, with whatever. Yeah, there was something that they saw about this, and I think I know what it was. My money is A, unique aesthetic. Because it's this weird mashup of like 80s and kind of NASA punk and that. And also, it's very inclusive, which is great when you're a business, right? Looks good all the time, despite it having nothing to do with the gameplay. Hey?
Yeah.
So this is why businesses shouldn't get involved with inclusivity nonsense. Not because it's a bad thing to do, but because if you're going to be shallow about it, you're going to shoot yourself in the foot and regress any like meaningful
Like, have taste about it.
progression. True. Like, look, for all the bad you can say about Overwatch and about its questionable representation, I think they've actually handled Tracer and Soldier really well.
Hell, they have a chubby character. May's one of the most popular characters in that game.
Hey, whoa. May ain't chubby. May just thick like that, though.
Oh, you know it. No, she is chubby.
She's chubby.
Yeah.
But it is a diverse cast. You have like Reaper's Mexican, Sombra is Mexican, Doomfist
You got a
is
big strong lady as
African.
well.
You have Zarya as the
Zarya,
our
Zenyatta's
big
an actress.
Ruski.
Yeah.
But you bring up Zenyatta, which is brilliant. You have fucking robot people, and not just how we usually talk about it. They're people in that game. They're actual sentient creatures. There's a lot to take from that, and they've even had, like I said, they handled the sexuality bit really well. I think a lot of people would disagree with me because they have a whole lot more riding on this than I do. But I mean, Tracer and Soldier are just two people leading life that just happen to have a wife and a dead husband. So yeah, fantastic. Like, there's ways to do it and not be like so transparently fake about it, and I think that's a big part of what this was. And whenever you get into this conversation in games, especially games like this where it doesn't actually impact anything, it's not like this is a story-driven game. You then have to deal with the most vocal parts of Twitter, which certainly won't help. So I don't know. I just refuse to believe this game died because it was a mediocre shooter. There's too many of them in the world that are still going. So it had to be something else. And yeah, I just imagine, if you will, this game, but you're playing as Drake or Croft or one of the Killzone dudes. You have, your melee character, Kratos, just fucking slams out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Why haven't they? Why haven't they done that?
You know what game I miss? PlayStation All-Star Battle Royale.
Yeah, I don't.
I actually liked playing that game.
I liked playing it for like 3 days, and then I very much stopped liking that game.
Run into too many Nathan Drakes.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they have a funny game. Sony has a funny game. They have a Smash clone. It wasn't. I don't think it was great.
I thought it was all right.
Well, yeah, I'll give you that. It was all right. It was all right.
It was broken, but I enjoyed it. But yeah, they had so much and like Sony then like complained like not but like a week ago that they don't have that many IPs. And to which I say, bullshit. You guys have enough. You have enough IPs.
Yeah, I looked this up. They certainly had less than I thought. A lot of what they used to own are now owned by other people, so they're third party, or they belong to someone else entirely. But they have enough. Like, first of all, when's the next Wild Arms game? That's a Sony IP, by the way. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the next White Knight Chronicles?
Yeah.
Whoa. Well, okay, for
that's
one,
a Sony-owned IP, by the way.
Yeah, but that's Sony Japan Studio.
They still own it.
Yeah, true.
They still own it.
And level 5, and I don't foresee level 5 doing anything outside of Inazuma 11.
Yeah, yeah. But like they still own a bunch. Jack and Daxter is an IP that they own, that they could do stuff in forever. They could bring back Infamous. I liked Infamous, by the way. Why did you let that end?
They have Spyro and Crash.
No, they don't.
Wait, I thought they do. That's owned by
I
Toys for
don't.
Bob, right?
That is technically third party now. That is not a
Oh yeah,
Sony
true,
owned
true,
studio.
true. Yeah, yeah.
Do they own Ape Escape?
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
Japan
yeah,
Studio? So
yeah,
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 that's
yeah,
them. That's them. Yeah.
yeah.
Obviously, they have Ratchet and Clank. They have Last of Us, which I'm sure they will beat to death. They have Uncharted, Until Dawn, Twisted Metal. Which, by the way, how did that never get a game after the
The
short-lived series?
oddly successful series that
Yeah,
happened.
yeah, like the surprisingly successful series. Or did you
Uh,
also just expect it wasn't going to go well? They have Gravity Rush, but I shouldn't talk shit. I've been threatening to play Gravity Rush for what feels like 15 years.
I mean, I'll be real here. Probably has been 15 years.
All right, I was hoping I was wrong. This debuted in 2012. 12
So
years.
no, so
Okay.
yes, 12 years. Yeah, so
Yeah,
close.
so I've loved every single thing I've ever seen from this game. I love the way it looks. I love the way it looks like it plays. I just haven't played it. Oh, I'm just a bad person. I hope Kat shows up in more things. I really like her design. But
they
yeah, no,
they have enough. They have enough.
Sony specifically has plenty of unique IPs. They're just not IPs that lend themselves to live services or massively multiplayer online games of any kind, and they would struggle to monetize them as anything more than a single player game. And as a single player game, Sony has to weigh it against things like Last of Us and God of War, which is insane. Like imagine thinking we're making a Patapon game. We hope it does anywhere near God of War.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I think I'd have to look it up. I think Sony owns the rights to Bleach games. I don't think it's Bandai Namco, even though Bandai Namco owns all fucking anime rights. But yeah, no, Sony. At the end of the day, Sony is a company. Sony wants to make money. And so everything they do is viewed as is it going to be not just profitable, but immensely profitable? And I think when people say Sony doesn't have the IPs for that, this is what they mean. I like Wild Arms. I don't think Wild Arms is going to do Final Fantasy numbers, much less Last of Us numbers. And none of these games are going to do Call of Duty numbers, which is the bar by which all brain dead executives try to parse their income.
Yep.
So I don't know. Make a new Sly Cooper game. I like that series.
True. True. Man.
Actually, do they own Sly? They may.
Yeah.
They may
Yeah.
not.
They
Actually,
they
do.
I
They
think
do
they I
own
think
Sly.
they own
Yeah.
Sly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sony Interactive Entertainment. Yeah. Yeah. They're a sucker punch. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. And that's yeah. We're never getting a new Sly game. That's Spider-Man. That's Spider-Man and Wolverine.
No, Sucker Punch is
No, that's Insomniac. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Sucker Punch is Infamous and Ghost of
Infamous.
Tsushima.
Okay. Right. So Ratchet and Clank and Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah. Oh man.
Right.
I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, I think so too.
I complained a lot. I'm sorry.
I don't know. It's a good short week. I enjoy.
But hey, found out I could visit a maid for cheap if I really wanted to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Would only take 10 hours.
Yeah, for me it would be 16. Should be amazing.
I can't believe I found that out. That is. I think it would be cheaper to go visit you than it would be to visit my mother.
Oh God, really?
It's so expensive to go back home.
Well, what are we doing this week?
It's probably the same.
More World of Warcraft?
TCLP. Yeah, a little bit. I know. The mindless grinding thing is
The
finally
honeymoon
starting to.
phase. The honeymoon phase is
very
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I only play if
Oh,
someone
to
else
be a
like that.
werewolf in a better game.
Oh, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll probably just go back to my regular thing. I want to play more Monster Hunter.
You know what? Before we get in, remind me again your thoughts on Fields of Mistra. I was chatting with.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, I was chatting with
It's
Shield,
really
and
good.
yeah, she was mentioning she was having problems feeling good about early game progression, but everyone else seems to think it's fine. So I wasn't quite sure.
Oh, no, I like it a lot.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I feel pretty justified in what I said earlier then. Yeah. Enjoy. I mean, the whole Office game sounded hilarious.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
I hope you get more out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, as for me, Wukong. That's it. That's the only game I'm playing right now because I don't want to play anything else and then not finish this because I'm really enjoying this.
Wukong.
Wukong.
Yeah, most likely Gunbreaker 4.
Mm-hmm.
It in between the insane amount of Fairy Tail that I'm watching. I'm just preparing for. I'm not wanting to get too into anything or whatever because I've got Kai at the end of the month. I'm taking 4 days off to play that.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear they've said it's the second longest script in the series. So
It's crazy.
yeah. Not as much as Cold Steel 4. Cold Steel 4 has the longest script, whatever, but I guess somewhere in between Cold Steel 3 and 4 levels of
That's
of
a
how much
lot
script
of. I wonder, like, everyone's gonna have to show up to justify that. Goodness gracious.
and I'm hoping I'm hoping the whole thing that Kondo was like kind of hinting that there might be another Kai game, like a Kai 2, and that this game's going to leave off on a huge cliffhanger and then we'd have to wait like 2 years because they're working on the new Tokyo Xanadu game, and so that'll come out next year. I'm just hoping that so I'd have to do like a 2-year wait between Kai and Kai 2, and I'd be like, yeah, it might be hype. Might be pretty hype, because I love the cliffhanger that Cold Steel 3 had. As much as everybody's like, oh no, we have to wait a year. I'm just sitting here like, good, that gives me time to play other games.
Ha.
All right, I don't have to wait. I don't have to be like, all right, I've got a year to get to play these games, right? Because I'm sitting here like, oh, I've got to carve out a chunk of my time next year for the next Trails game.
Mm-hmm.
Now if they do a whole, because they're already skipping next year if I recall correctly, because next year is Tokyo Xanadu and everything. So I think it's already going to be like a 2-year wait for the next Trails game. So I'm hoping that they do like a a hard cliffhanger, because that'll just get me more pumped. Because if it just ends like all hunky dory, and I'm like,
What if it ends, but it's not hunky dory?
Well, that's what I mean. A cliffhanger means it's not ending all hunky dory.
No. What if it ends? What if that's it? They're done. It's just not. It's not happening.
No, because they said after Kai, it's like 90% done. Like the story is 90%
okay.
done.
Okay. I see.
So, we have probably 2 more games after Kai at the most. If I had to put to bet on it,
You don't think we're gonna get
say
4 more games?
No, I mean, if that last 10% is like an insane amount, all right, then I could see being like 4 games equaling up to like maybe 2.5 to 3% a game, but like I do not think that there is that much in between that 10%. So
Sure.
I would say that 5% for a game is what I would bet money on. It's 5% for a game, because I'm assuming one of the games that we're getting is going to be a church game. It's going to be a Gralswitter game.
I'd be super about that.
I think it's going to take maybe not specifically a Gralsritter game, but like a game that takes place in the Le Mans state or the holy city of Arteria. Is where I'm basing that, because that's the one big place we haven't been to yet.
Excuse me, we've been there once.
Technically, we haven't been to Arteria. We've been to the Le Mans state. We've been to the Le Mans state, and that was in Sky second chapter. But we haven't actually been to Arteria, so hopefully. Anyway, yeah. I'll probably just go to play Gundam Breaker. I did pick up, or I did download Borderlands 2 to play with Evan a little bit. I hopped in that game. I totally forgot how to play Borderlands. The sensitivity was also way too high, so I had to drop that down. My character did not have good guns at all. So I was trying to figure out. I didn't even know if Evan was playing on a harder difficulty or whatever, because I felt like stuff was doing so much damage to me. I just so I don't know if I'll continue playing Borderlands or whatever, but I just downloaded it because of that night. But I don't foresee myself playing anything. I might download Ryza 2 again to see if I can maybe finish that out a little bit. Because Yumiya's looking like a really good game, so I kind of want to get through the Ryza games.
Admittedly, fair, because it does look like a pretty good game.
And it pisses me off because the producer of the Atelier games pisses me off, because he thanks the Western audience for their support in Ryza, and that support for Ryza got them to have a bigger budget for Yumiya, yet there's still not an English dub.
Yeah, okay. That feels shallow. I don't love that.
Don't thank your Western audience when they're sitting here asking you for English dubs, all right, and not give them English dubs. That is a half-hearted thank you, all right? You can go fuck yourself, Gust.
I mean, to be fair, a lot of people were always going to play this in Japanese anyway. But someone like me would appreciate an English dub.
I played Atelier Sophie in English, because Atelier Sophie 1 had an English dub. The second game doesn't.
What do you mean? Wait, why does that game have an English? Wait, what's happening now?
No, Atelier Sophie 1 had an English dub. The second game didn't.
Wait, no, this I understand that. Why are we regressing? What?
The older Atelier games did have English dubs. Atelier Rona had an English dub. I think Atelier Esha and Logi has an English dub.
Allow me to rephrase. Why have we gone from dub to no dub?
I don't know, because the Atelier series hasn't been super popular, and so I guess they decided to save money on not having an English dub and just dealing with the text translation and localization and everything.
Oh.
But Ryza got so much money. They are still selling. They are still selling. They're still coming out with new figures for Ryza. Terra owns a bunch of them. All right.
Yeah. To be fair, that's really smart, because this is just the anime industry. We're gonna get on a whole topic. Yeah. This is just the anime industry, right? Where anime isn't profitable, merch is.
Yeah. All right. But the game, I think the Ryza games are super profitable because they sold so much, because the power of thighs fucking sold. All right.
To be fair, I don't see how they thought this wasn't going to sell. They clearly knew what they were doing.
It's the only Atelier series that got a trilogy that followed one character.
Anyhow,
right? How? Give us a dub. Come on. I don't mind a game being in Japanese or whatever, but goddamn, there's so much text and shit in Rise in like the Atelier games.
It's an old school RPG. Yeah,
I would like to listen to something that isn't a language I don't know, despite me trying to learn it.
welcome to just how I feel in general. That's just how I feel in general. Though I'm a bit of a hypocrite, I am playing Wukong in Chinese. Its English dub was not good.
But that's like an artistic type of like choice or whatever.
True.
True. But even that has an English dub.
It does. It does. It came with an English dub. I had to choose to switch it. You are correct.
God. Yeah. Anyway, that's my riser. That's my Atelier rant. I'm done with that. I'm playing. I'm watching Fairy Tail, and I'm probably playing Gundam Breaker this week. That's about it. All right. Yeah, that's it. Dalit, sign us out.
Oh, fuck, I forgot I do this now. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, you can find us on the channel at, what's the YouTube channel?
Perpetual Backlog
Oh,
podcast.
yes, I can do a thing.
Yes, at the Perpetual Backlog podcast YouTube channel, and on Tuesdays, if you're lucky, you can catch us on Leak Wibbles Twitch.
Yeah,
we're here every
right.
week. Yep, we're here every week. We love your faces. Thank you for joining us. Join us next time where we will talk about more nonsense.
Yep.
I've been Dalit. They've been Leak and Aqua, and you've been amazing. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely